What is going on, guys? Gene Hulbert from GH Outdoors, and today we are going to do a little bit different video. Um, I had a couple of Model 57 Bel Airs because they are my absolute all-time favorite car. So I decided to start putting some of them together, and this first one is the easiest because the body of it is already put together. All I really have to do is put the engine in and put the tires on the rims. But yeah, this is actually a drag car. You can tell by how the back tires there are twice as wide and have no tread on them. And this actually came with two engines, as you can see there. One has the scoop and one is the open air intake. And you got the axles, and it actually came with two sets of tires and rims. The second set there in my left hand is it has emerald rims with like a red pinstripe, and the first set is the white wall tires with the regular chrome. Um, and I think I decided to go with the chrome and white wall just because of the color scheme match better than the with the white wall tires and the chrome. But yeah, this the altogether like ease of this is actually pretty easy. Just there's one part where I didn't, you see right there the difference between the emerald chrome and the regular chrome. But you got two sets of front tires, which are the skinnier tires, the white wall and the white wall right there, and then this one has a slight red pinstripe, which is like a more modern tire, which I don't really like that one, so I decided to go with the just the regular pinstripe, or the regular white wall. My bad. Um, and yeah, this right here, the chassis is also already put together. I don't know, I'm not sure on other cars. I have some, but I just don't haven't opened yet. The chassis, and it's very detailed too. Like you can see the muffler, and I'm pretty sure you can see the oil pan too. Like pretty much everything on the undercarriage of the car is pretty detailed. And the paint is nice too. There's barely any scratches. One thing I do have to say is the mirrors on this are pretty like they're pretty fragile. So I did end up breaking the left mirror off, which uh it could be put back on pretty easily. Right here, I'm just checking to see because there's two different lengths of axles. If you do end up getting this one, it's the longer length is for the front and the shorter length is for the back, just because the back tires are actually wider. And right here I was having a little bit of trouble getting them on the rims, and then it's the first time I read the instructions where you're actually supposed to put them in warm water. So I put all eight tires in warm water and let them sit for about a minute. So I did. The skinnier tires actually went on pretty easily. The bigger tires actually, uh, I had quite a problem with. These ones probably would have been easier if I had like some sort of press or something, but I had to use my hand and press straight down on it instead of trying to get it like around the uh, work it around the tire or the rim. You can see here, I probably should have left it in the water a little bit more. I tried squishing it down to get it to loosen up a bit, but uh, yeah, there's a glass of warm water right there in the middle, like right here. You're just pressing down on them, and then taking the screwdriver. And on these ones, if you guys make sure you don't press down on the outside of the tire because it does leave little marks, and you don't want that visible. So I was just pressing down on the tires here and taking the screwdriver that comes with the kit and prying out the parts that folded over. This one didn't take as long because I already knew what to do. Uh, and by the time I got this one on, uh, by the time I got these tires on, the white wall tires were actually quite a bit easier to put on. This one I actually didn't use the screwdriver as much. I think I used it maybe 2 or 3 times, but I actually do like how they turned out. They turned out pretty decent. Um, but yeah, if you do press the if you do press the rims into the tires and don't work your way around, make sure you press the rims into the back of the tires and not press the front of the tires on to the rims because it will scratch them, especially the white wall. It'll be noticeable. Yeah, and the right here, I'm just putting the axles on one of the tires so it'll slide through easily. Another thing I didn't really like is how there was a little bit of give into the tires once you got them in the axle, which I know on every model car there's going to be some give because there's not really anything holding it together unless it's a solid model car where there's no moving parts. Which on this one, obviously there is. They actually, for not having bearings, it rolls pretty easily. Next, this is the body. I didn't show at the beginning, but the hood actually lifts up. And uh, here I'm putting in the engines. I decided to go with the engine with the scoop just because I think that one looks better. And then like right here, this just a little bit of time trying to get the engine or the motor in the engine. Oh, I didn't record. Oh, it did. I just have it sitting in there. My bad. Just rambling. But the engine was actually easier to get in once you if you took the engine bay out. Like when it comes with it, there's 4 spots for screws, and but there's only 2 screws in there. So I took the 2 screws out, and this one was actually, since the screws were probably put in with the machine, they were they were over, like the one was over tightened and it actually blew out the bracket, but the 3 screws were able to hold it, just having those 3 screws in there. But another thing is it came with, I don't think you were supposed to take the engine bay out of the body, but it was just easier for me to do it that way since I have bigger hands. And they came with 2 extra screws, and so I just used those 2 extra screws to put in the extra screws on the slot in the engine bay. And make sure you look at the instructions on this one too, because on this one I also put the wrong screws into the engine, so I had to take them out and put the other screws in there. I did the same thing with these screws that I'm putting in right now. I was having trouble with that one. That should have been the first indication that was the wrong screw. But this one went in a little bit easier, so I just went with it. I tried tightening this one down a little bit, but I think it ended up stripping out. But it's nice and snug in there. I only put two back ones in, but I did end up deciding to put the two front ones in. Sorry about the camera angle. I should mark it out on my desk where the camera shows up, but wasn't able to get that far. I didn't think that far ahead. I just wanted to get some of these done so they're not just sitting in boxes. There's the engine all secured good, but not with the right screws. And you'll see now that I put the undercarriage onto the body. The undercarriage. I don't really know what's called, the chassis, but chassis is more of the frame. This is more all of the parts and stuff. But these screws were actually, they were tapered a little bit, and I couldn't get them onto the, like, I couldn't get them threaded because of the taper. And the reason why they're tapered is so they kind of drill into the plastic, and with uh with them being able to drill into the plastic, the two screws that I used for the engine were actually supposed to be for the uh for the chassis. So I took those out, and here I'm just still trying to struggle with the screws that I had left. But these ones, they have like a wider head on them, so I should have known by then. But it's there. Just skip to me. I just changed the screws on the engine. Now it should be a lot easier. Uh, yeah, definitely a lot easier, and to get the screws in. Uh, I think the age on this one is actually lower age. It is 8 plus, which I know I'm 20 years old, not 8 years old, but I really enjoyed doing model cars and stuff. So yes, this one is definitely an easier one. There's all you have to do is screw things together and snap the tires onto the rims, and put the axles through the chassis. And you could put the tires on before or after you put the chassis onto the body. But that's another thing, is that front axle was a little bit too long. So if you actually want to use this as a toy, you have to watch so it doesn't rub that white wall off. And yeah, the hood, once I got everything on, it actually morphed the metal a little bit, so the hood hit the scoop on the motor. Hey guys, if you made it to the end of the video, thank you very much for watching me. This is the first type of video I've done like this, but if you haven't noticed, I am a collector of 57 Chevy Bel Airs, and they are my absolute favorite car. I had 4 models that I put together myself. This one was the easiest, just because it was already painted and all you had to do was put some screws together. But these 3 that are still in the boxes are probably going to be the hardest. The pepper shaker, I don't know, it's either going to be a mix-up between the pepper shaker or just the regular Bel Air. And all of these are AMT, by AMT, except for this one. This one was M2. But I don't know the scale on this. Let me check real quick. Alright, the scale is 1 to 24, and this one is 1 to 25, and so is this one. It's 1 to 25. So these ones are going to be a little bit bigger. This one doesn't say the scale to. Oh, 1 to 25, yeah. So the plastic ones are going to be a bit bigger. This one's metal. But these are actually, so the smaller ones I actually got at like a dollar store. This one I got at Dollar General. It's a little bit off scale. Should be a little bit wider or shorter. But that one, I think, I don't know. This one is made by Welly. It's a made in China. I'm pretty sure all these are made in China. And then this one is, can't really see the name on that. It's Kinsmart. It's also made in China. This is a 1 to 40 scale. This one, it's not really scaled, so that's probably why it looks so weird. This one I got on a trip to New York. I went to New York City for a school trip, and I saw this. This was the first one I've ever bought. This one's also Kinsmart, the 1 to 40 scale. And then this one, I got this police car, which the police car and the fire department car don't really have much difference. I should have got different numbers for the fire department car or something, but they're both. This one is most likely Kinsmart. Oh, this one still has a tag, $7. Yeah, this one is also Kinsmart. But I got these two at Cheeseburger Festival in Kaysville. There's a store that was selling them, and they sell them all the time. They don't just sell them during the festival. But yeah, the next one I put together, since I don't really have paint, I haven't opened this one yet. I've opened these ones and looked at them, but I don't think this one needs much paint. I'm trying to look here. Okay, right here. Let's see if I can focus it. So, fun to assemble model kit contents include plastic pieces, necessary and pictorial instructions describing assembly. Oh wait, paint and cement required. Okay, so I got the cement. I'll just probably have to paint it later. So I'm gonna. Ooh, I don't know why autofocus is off. Well, I'm going to have to paint them some other time, or just do it once I get paint, which shouldn't be that much longer. But this one and the pink one I just put together, I just bought today. I got those at Hobby Lobby along with this one, and then I'm not sure where this one was a gift, so I'm not sure where that one would have came from. But the next model car I do will be one of these three. And then, oh yeah, another thing. I was going to use this engine in this motor, in this car, but I just didn't like the look of it. Like, if you can see how, like, the intake is not straight at all, which I know it's not, like, not really supposed to be, but like they're not even straight with the like the air intake isn't even straight with the uh actual the metal part. But this one, like there's a problem with it when the hood can open on this one, but when you go to it opens fine, but for some reason when you go to close it, it hits on this. And I chose to use the white wall chrome rims rather than the red pinstripe with the emerald rims, because like I don't think the emerald rims would really match the car. I did keep them, and I'm going to keep this one. Oh, and another thing, the silver part. Oh, the silver part that was right in front there fell off this motor. That's another reason why I didn't use it. I can just glue it back on. It's not that hard, but and then yeah. So if you all of these model cars, except for this one, I don't know how much this one was. All of them were $30, including this one. So like, if you want to start doing model cars, I would start out with this one, just because of how easy it is. And you can get ones that snap together instead of screw together, like no tools required, but they're also plastic, so they're a lot harder to work with. Like I did a snap together Batmobile, and like it's already falling apart by now, or right now. So but this one you didn't need any cement for, because it's all screws. That one you do, and this one you do. I have the plastic cement somewhere. You can get all of them in the model aisle. Like all these you can get in the model aisle along with the plastics and the cement for plastic. You can all get that all in the model aisle at Hobby Lobby, or just go to your local hobby store if you don't have a Hobby Lobby around you. But yeah. And one last thing before I go is out of all of these ones, my favorite one is probably that one, because I do eventually want to buy an actual 57 Bel Air. I want it to be that color scheme. I don't know if I want a convertible roof like this one, but probably not. They actually don't. They do make the convertible roofs. They don't make them anymore, obviously, because they're over 40 years old. Well, actually over 60 years old. But yeah, I'm not sure if they make because this one is actually, you can tell by how the roof is formed, it is supposed to be modeled after a soft roof convertible top. And I'm not sure they actually made those. Like, I know they had convertible 57 Bel Airs, but I'm pretty sure they were like the hard lids where the hard lid came off. I have another one here that I'll show you guys in a second. Let me find it. Alright, so I found the other one. This one was my grandpa's back when he was alive. It needs some restoration. But this one it'll be pretty easy, because it just screws. Well, like the window needs to be cleaned and the front bumper needs to be fixed because it looks like it fell off a shelf. Same with the back one. And then it doesn't look like there were mirrors on it at any point. And then the whole thing just altogether needs to be painted. But that I'm going to make, and this one isn't like the other ones. Like, or they're like have the spring in them. This one just rolls just like the bigger one. But yeah. So thank you for watching, and I hope you made it this far, and I will see you guys in the next video.